What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Who are you people?
You people.
Nothing happened. And so they needed to cut payroll or whatever, so they traded this dude for basically nothing. It was a salary dump. And man, Rockies fans are fucking mad.
Well, maybe they should start him at Kickstarter. Who picked him up?
Yeah, I know exactly. The Cardinals. They sent him to the Cardinals, but
And what did they get in return?
nothing. Like they actually had to pay $50 million to the Cardinal or to him, and then
Oh yeah, for breaching his contract or whatever.
or just to kind of like it was kind of like a they'll cover $50 million of the 200 that's left.
Okay.
You know,
Dude, how does baseball make its money?
by ticket sales because they have 82 home games or 81 home games and TV contracts.
I don't know. The contracts they do in baseball are just ridiculous.
And they're guaranteed.
So I know, and so I know if they're guaranteeing money, and their contracts are ridiculous. The owners are making ridiculous money. Everybody's making ridiculous money if the players are making ridiculous money. So where is this money coming from? I think it's another Ponzi scheme.
Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Well, it is a monopoly.
I've had a theory that they use it to launder money.
I could see that being
yeah.
plausible.
How
But
so?
they are a monopoly. Like
In terms of what?
so
Baseball?
No, it's a what other baseball organization is there?
Oh, it is.
Same as NFL football, same as
Yeah.
And they're
MLS soccer, same as the NHL.
and they're nonprofits too, aren't they? NFL's a nonprofit. I know that.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
the organ not the members, but the organization itself is a nonprofit. I think in all cases, but they all face government oversight, which is why when the steroid thing happened, they had to go in front of Congress because Congress can literally be like, "You're in a monopoly. Fuck off. You no longer get our protection." They're protecting all of these things. And if they're doing it for sports, what else are they doing it for?
Let me explain something to people right quick that don't understand this. The government runs everything. Let me tell you why. Because they create the certifications for everything. So you can't have your thing unless you agree to their thing. And because you agree to their thing, they can tell your thing what to do whenever they get ready to. So
No, that's
I like when he
100%.
talks about your thing.
I mean, that's 100% accurate because
Super hot.
I think my favorite was like, I forget, some senator or somebody was just like, "You want to start a business in this country?" And he pulled out an 1,100-page document. He's like, "These are the 1,100 pages. How are we fostering small business when they have to follow a fucking 9 inches of book?" Fuck off.
that's what people don't realize. Like, it's so hard to start a business now just because of the paperwork. You need a lawyer. You can't do it yourself almost to these degree unless you're going to put that much time in and actually read through all that. So it's almost like you have to have a lawyer to start any type of business nowadays because you have to have somebody to go through all this paperwork.
Right.
And it's just more and more getting tacked onto it and added to it.
Keeps the lawyers in a good job.
Oh, of course they do. They're the ones that write the law. Of course they're going to keep their shit together. They're the politicians. They're everything.
You saw how they covered the GameStop thing.
Right.
Yeah, politicians were like, "Hey guys, this isn't funny anymore." Like it was like, "Who you working for again?" You know,
I feel like
I work for the capitalistic Ponzi scheme of America.
I think one of my
Right.
favorite interactions after all that was like AOC posted something where it's like, "I'm outraged," and then Ted Cruz is like, "Completely agree," and you're just everybody's like, "Oh,
yeah,
these two get along," and then her response was like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
just
because
like, God,
that helps. That fucking helps.
of course it doesn't. But
Jesus.
at least she's staying true to brand.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like
I
AOC.
can't stand her.
Are you buying into cryptocurrency, James?
Might as well now. Dogecoin, baby.
Yeah. You mean the fake crypto that
Oh, is
they
that
just
the dildo one that cam girls use?
No, I don't know. Is there?
No,
Maybe.
no. It was literally a shell corporation that somebody established called Dogecoin that is a non-existent cryptocurrency. It's just a stock that people can buy, and people bought it at like 0.39 cents, and then it went up to 8 cents, and the smart money got out, and then that's where the diamond hands thing is like, oh, it'll go higher, it'll get up to 10 cents, and it's like, no, it won't. This stock, this company doesn't exist.
Oh man, this is what I know. Everybody's talking about the stock market, so that means it's about to change.
Yeah.
Oh,
Too
yeah.
many people know about it.
People
Too many
are looking
regular
at
peop-
it now.
Yeah, you gotta. This is what I tell people. If you're intelligent enough, you know what's coming. You know what's happening. You can see it. Trust me, I like this is gonna change. It's a lot of things. The whole money game. I told people, what if I've been telling you for the last, when we started this, I'm like, something is happening in the money industry. I'm like, a lot of companies are doing weird stuff. A lot of money is changing weird hands. Something's going on. And then boom, Corona. And then boom, trillions of dollars passing hands. And dude, it's just, and I was talking to Carrie and she said what a lot of these companies are trying to do is they're trying to move their money into cryptocurrency. They're trying to switch it over. And they're saying like it's a process, and they have to go through it. And it's saying like it's like 1% of all of this massive amount of wealth that's trying to transition into these cryptocurrencies is over. But it's like once that's done, regular people get you move the fuck on.
Well,
'Cause
so
they won't be for you.
one of the things, because I was talking to my parents a bit about investment strategy, albeit briefly, and Mom was very drunk. But one of the things,
Invested in Dogecoin.
one of the things, one of the things that she mentioned was like, if you're looking at a company to invest in, one of the things you really have to look at is their pension liability, because people that have been given a pension, that is based on an investment usually. And so when you talk about them moving into Bitcoin and stuff, usually pension funds have to be built on something very stable. But if you can move that, it takes the liability off you, gives more fluidity to the business, because pension liability is monstrous.
Yeah.
If a company has no handle, they're doomed to fail. Period. End of story. So it was just one of those I was like, I never would have thought of that. But that's where businesses invest, is usually in something safe.
But these are the things you have to look out for, and this is what I say. Carrie is doing all of that, but she's telling me, and I'm like, oh well, this, and I'm telling her like the factors you have to look for that's going to manipulate the market. You know, saying the things that are coming and stuff of that nature, and she's like I say, she's excited about it because she's like, oh, you can do this and just make as much money as you really want to, as much money as you want to put in, as much time you want to put in, you can get as much money out, and it depends on how much liability you want, how much risk you want to take, all that. But like I say, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's where day traders.
Well, that's what she's doing.
If you're paying attention on a minute to minute or hour by hour basis,
Well-
you can be very lucrative as long as you're proactive.
Well, no,
about
that's
it.
the thing. Not even anymore, because it's been around so long. They've created these systems to where you don't even have to do nothing. You ain't got to know shit. Just get into the system. Get to the system. Put your money into the system.
No,
and
that's the way it's always been. You go to a broker and you say, "Here's my money. Do
But
right with my
it's-
money," and they do that.
But it's different now. It's your these are people that just learned it, and they're creating these groups and they're bringing people in, and then they're creating these systems in these groups, and then they're just making money within these groups. It's kind of like and they're doing it kind of like a pyramid type thing.
Well, it's
the same thing.
But it's the same way that hedge funds got started, mutual funds got started. It's a bunch of people that are just like, yeah, if we put our fucking minds together, we can fucking kill this.
I know, but that starts up here. But when it starts to trickle down here,
But
that's when
right.
it's time to change.
What we're seeing is a bunch of people realizing, like, no, if we put our collective minds together, we can fucking
and
do some
collective
fucking
collective
amazing
money and collective
Right.
money that, like I say, if we put more money together and we win, more money comes out than just these individual things. Like people start to be more
and it's
reasonable.
a recurring thing. Like you
Exactly.
do it right, and it's just like, cool, my money's there, and I get an extra $10,000 a year in dividends and stock payouts or whatever. And
Exactly, and it's not hard. It's like, Carrie sitting down and learning it day by day, and like she has these people that they're teaching her this, that, and the other, and while they're teaching her, she's doing it over here. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I say, she's very confident that it's very easy for her to do what she's doing. So, If you can get into it, by all means, get into it now and reap the benefits. Because in the next 5 to 10 years, it's gonna be a total different game.
Yeah.
You know, just the thing is like things change behind people's awareness because it's not really put out there. So if you aren't following, like I always tell people, follow natural resources of human beings. That's always going to be a big thing. Like they're starting to trade the scarcity of water on the stock market, which now you're going to have manipulation of scarcity of water. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. It's going to be like what Enron did with electricity.
How much should we care about what happens in other countries?
I mean,
It depends on what your focus is and what you plan on doing in life. Because I mean, it really doesn't matter if you focus on it or not. Because there's nothing you personally can really do about it. You just know, but it's not gonna really. You can't do anything per se.
So, and the reason I ask is because, like, flip the script a bit, right? For the last 4 years or so, like, Trump has been a thing that, like, we feel like a lot of other countries give a shit about.
They didn't.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Well,
whatever the case
yeah.
may be. But being Americans, we kind of look at it like this is what permeates our day to day. In Russia, they are arresting thousands of people for the whole Navalny thing, who was that guy has run against Putin and then was poisoned and hospitalized and then went back. And then you have the president of Burma or Myanmar, who's a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, who basically just got thrown in house arrest during a military coup. Are these either of these things? Is it something we give a shit about?
I mean, it's
And if so, why?
because it's a human interest story, and I mean, at the bare minimum, it's a human interest
Well,
story.
All these things are related. Trust me, America they have an interest or something is they're there somewhere. Everything is connected to some degree that happens all around the world. Especially when you have things to these big fights, these civil unrest, these political things. And political things are always involved with other political things.
I feel like Jacob didn't finish his thought, but I may be wrong.
No, I mean, the point. It's worth looking into at least. I mean, just see what's going on. I mean, but at the same time, like, how much the question kind of is like, how much power do we think we have over it? As far as like, what can we do here to help? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't.
To me, I find it interesting because
I mean, send good vibes, I guess. I don't. I mean,
well, like the way that I absorb news is it's very diversified, and I don't click most of it. I just flip through, see headlines like, "Is this worth my time and effort?" And I will notice that for the last 4 years, there was almost no international news that would come across any of my rather diversified news feed. It was all very America. We're looking at our own problems, which I actually appreciate in some way, but at the same time, like, not a month into the year, all of a sudden I'm learning about things are coming across my feed that are not America, largely. Like, it's like everybody's like, let's look elsewhere for a minute.
yeah.
It's just interesting because, like,
You don't think it's because they want to shift focus?
well, and that's what I'm examining is like, what's the agenda to make me not look where I was supposed to look at this country hardcore for 4 years while Trump was in office. I'm not going to make a statement about Donald Trump or whatever, but it's like, I'll just take a correlate, like that correlates, and then he's gone, and all of a sudden,
It's almost like Biden is a ghost. It's always like he's not even in there. Go.
Yeah, no.
Oh, he's in there signing executive orders.
Dude,
Yeah.
120 something on the first day, and people not even looking at that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it's like
I love. Okay.
the media basically for 4 years straight had an all-out blitz on fucking Donald Trump the whole time, right or wrong, whatever. But that's what it was. It was an all-out blitz, and then as soon as they got their guy in, Biden, as soon as he got in, they were like, all right, we can relax now. We can not have to.
I got
worry
a
about-"
question. I got a question. Why do you think that's their guy?
Because they did everything in their power to get that dude elected.
But that's a good question.
Why do you
because
think-
it has to be some deeper underlying
when
thing.
when you're asking super intense, in depth questions to Donald Trump, and then you turn to Joe Biden and go, "But so I heard you like ice cream. Are you fucking?
Do you understand somebody gave them those questions? Do you understand there's certain do you understand when you go on any show or any there's certain
they didn't give
questions
Trump
you can
shit.
you can ask and you can't ask. Trust me. You Jacob, you don't understand. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The news doesn't have a guide. They're part of the show and tell too.
Yeah, I know that.
They're being given a script. Here, tell them this. They showed you that.
yeah,
So the news doesn't have a guide. They're part of the whole thing.
yeah. I know.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like
No,
they
I-
didn't get their guy. They got the guy that's they're part of the whole circus. So
Yeah.
And see that, but that's the thing is like I don't get it. They had an easy job, like most of the liberal media and almost entirely the conservative media spent their entire time talking about the Republicans. That's all we talked about for the last 4 years was the Republicans on both sides.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about anything else. So it was their job had to be super easy. And now a Democrat, a liberal, well, it's a Democrat comes in,
Yeah, corporate
and
one. Yeah.
but and it's immediately like they have to do work again. Why would they want the guy that makes them have to go
No,
do investigative
I mean,
journalism? They haven't
even-
had to do that in 4
Even Jim,
years.
even Jim Acosta, the guy that was like up fucking Trump's ass all those 4 years, he even openly said like we're gonna cover Biden differently, which screams like bias right there. Like, why aren't you gonna go hard on him? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that this shit's biased as fuck, but like,
but you can't get yourself out of the thinking though. You can't
I-
pull yourself out of the thinking.
Yeah.
You know it's fucked up, but you still have the emotions attached to it like it's real. You can't pull yourself out of the thinking because you don't know anything else besides that.
I also
Yeah.
think that the mainstream media, whatever side they're leaning on,
yeah,
kind of wanted to give him a giant fuck you because he literally came into office and said, "You're all fake news, you're
'Cause-
bullshit." Whether or not that's true. And a reasonable argument can be said that it is in fact true.
I'll give you a
But
perfect analogy
If
for
somebody
him.
came in and punched
Yeah.
your sister, you'd be like,
that's stop with that.
these are egotistical motherfuckers that own these companies.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing: from like Washington all the way to Obama, basically, they were statues of people. You could say whatever the fuck you wanted to them; they would never respond back to you. It was like screaming into a well. But for the first time ever, the guy fucking screamed back. Like if you're like Donald Trump's a fucking dickhead, he would literally get on Twitter and go, "Hey, you're a fucking loser." You know,
He
would-
does have a point there.
You know what I mean? Like, so
would
people
say-
don't.
I agree. I
People
think you
didn't
make
know
a
how to
great point.
fucking handle it. Like when your president's picking fights with Rosie O'Donnell, it was like, what is fucking going on? Like it was just mind blowing, and it broke people. And that's where I think a lot of this Trump derangement syndrome goes from, because the one argument they always used about Trump, he's not presidential. Well, you know what? Tough shit. I mean, what the fuck do you want? I mean, the fucking days of like having a guy not respond back to you are over.
Could you imagine if
I-
black people could talk to Reagan?
Oh my God. Yeah, can you imagine?
Imagine if Twitter was back during the crack era and Reagan was in office.
Yeah, like
Hey, motherfucker!
yeah.
We know where you at.
We only hit your fucking press secretary this time.
Hey, cracker! Honky!
But that broke people, man. It was broke them. They didn't know how to handle it.
No, you make
Yeah.
a
Because
great
people are
point.
fragile.
But but it's one of those things like it's like fucking with a kid who never fucking fights back, and then the one day he blasts you in the head,
exactly.
and you're like, what the fuck, like you know?
They're used to the corporate
That's a great
mentality to
point.
where you could say anything you want to a motherfucker and they just But this motherfucker roasting your ass. We never had a president that had jokes, man. You got to give it to him. The motherfucker
Yeah.
had some jokes.
Come on, Wu Flu, come on, get fucking.
he had one like it was like maybe a year ago where he was like he was kind of being a little playful and he was reading off and he was throwing some jokes at reporters and he said something. He was like, I don't know if I agree with that one. Like it was a joke somebody wrote for him where he kind of gave credit to the press and he just goes, Don't
Yeah.
know if I agree with that one. You're just like, God damn, you can't even like just read the jokes.
I mean, they like made shit up about him. Like it's like every major news publication in those 4 years went from being like prestigious, well, we're prestigious and all this shit. They went from that to being like New York Times, like fucking page 5 fucking reporters, like, oh, we saw him doing this at the fucking bad. Like they lost their minds and just turned into gossip fucking reporters. That's all they were.
Everything went to TMZ.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy.
Hamill, I have a
Yeah.
question I want you to give an honest thought and answer to, okay?
Okay, what's up?
If you know that it's bullshit, why can't you accept that it's all bullshit?
I mean, I'm getting there, but like at the same time, I don't want to get black-pilled.
You don't want to get what?
Black-pilled.
What's that?
Black-pilled is when you're just like, oh man, it's fucking whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like nihilism.
You
I'm
don't
not-
have to be that.
you don't
Am
have
I
to be that way.
nihilistic, Hamill?
No, I mean, I might be. That's the thing.
No, because you can choose to be happy.
I know, but like I'll all of a sudden find myself, I'll like ghost walk into that.
But the point is, at a point, you realize it doesn't matter. Like, it matters on some level because everything matters on some level.
yeah,
But the big picture is it doesn't matter.
yeah,
The world's going to do whatever it's going to do, no matter of what you think, believe, or say, or scream into the well.
well, I mean, that's just, I mean, I can have an opinion about something.
And you can, but I feel like you put a lot of your energy into hating that the system is corrupt instead of just accepting that the system is corrupt and focusing that energy into something more productive. And I only say this because I was you for like the better part of 15 fucking years.
Okay,
And I know how rough that road is.
Yeah.
And I want to save you some heartache.
yeah,
You're going to do whatever you're going to do. But, like, once you're willing to accept that it's fucked, just accept that it's fucked. Like, you can't, like he said earlier, there's endless clips on the internet that used to make fun of it on Jon Stewart
Yeah.
about how the local news always has the same 3 stories. And you can, like, the whole country
Yeah.
is basically telling you the same thing.
yeah,
It's because they're all run by 3 dudes.
yeah, yeah,
That doesn't change no matter how famous the guy telling you the news is.
yeah.
It's still all owned by the same 3 dudes. So the whole system will tell you whatever those 3 dudes tell them to tell you.
I'm gonna piggyback on that and like kind of take a sidecar to that. One of the statements that has always rung really true with me actually came from Fight Club, and it's you choose your own level of involvement. And even though it applied to like Project Mayhem and all this, but that one statement, you decide your own level of involvement, is the thing that spoke to me the most. When I'm offered a promotion, it's like, is that the level of involvement I want?
Yeah.
No.
Well-
is do I want to participate in different political? Do I want to get down that road? I get to decide, and however you want to decide.
Yeah.
But you have to recognize that it is a decision that is uniquely yours to make, whatever you
Well,
want
When
it to
you-
be.
Let me say this right.
Okay.
My bad, Jake. Let me just
Go
tell you
ahead.
this. What he just said in job form, your level of involvement you want to be in, it's all about free will.
Yeah.
Now, understand when you watch the news, you're being given a
narrative.
a narrative.
Oh yeah, I know that.
You know, but
I'm
the
aware.
thing about it is that, but it still drives you to negative emotions. That's not good. Okay, so that's the thing Bear's trying to say, that you have these emotions attached to something that is fake. That's not good for your body. That's not good for your mind. But I know why, because you don't have anything else. You haven't dug underneath the surface, because it is very, very scary. And the whole thing about the level of involvement
Yeah.
is that now you do that at the job, you also do that in life. Now, as you start to step out of that illusion, you're getting more involved. Okay, that's what
Yeah.
the thing is. The illusion is you have no involvement. Things happen for you and they happen to you. Just go along. You're automated. Don't ask questions. Don't bother nobody. Let the motherfuckers that's in the motherfucking automation, let them be there. Okay? Now, once you start to step out of that, you start to notice things. You don't know how to react to these things. because it starts to seem like there's all these boogeymen, all this underhandedness, all of this just whatever, but you got to push past all that shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I say, as you start to dissolve that illusion, you got to be willing to accept anything that comes after that. And I mean anything. Like, my level of involvement is way beyond most people even want to be into. That's why I talk about a lot of things. That's why I know shit.
All right,
See what I'm saying? But
But you're also hypercritical of people that don't want that level of involvement. Like, if I told you, and you talk about a lot of spiritual, sort of transcendental elements, hold on. And if I told you that none of that interests me, that I'm perfectly happy living my life on the fucking flat line it is, you either don't have the time to talk to me, or you're very critical of that.
no.
Bear.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
I to an
just
extent what
playing
you're
it-
saying is like somewhat true, but I also agree with it. Like, it's not that he's just walking around to random people and being like, "Hey, man, better your life, motherfucker." Like, we do it the most with the people we love.
Yes,
If
this
I
is a
didn't,
different environment.
if I
for
didn't
sure.
interact with you every week, like, we wouldn't have this relationship. You could be whatever the fuck you want. Like, the guy that sells me my Rockstar, my water, and my cigarettes in the morning, he probably jerks off to child porn. I don't really give a fuck. He's never shorted me my change.
There you go.
And he, like, it doesn't.
People tell me I should be a motivational speaker all the time, and I'm like, I know people don't want to be disturbed. Nobody wants to be fucking bothered, but this right here also know that everything happens for a reason. We're all in this room for a reason. Y'all want what I got to say. Because if you didn't, you kick me out your house. I ain't got to be here. This is your fucking house.
Because if you were a motivational speaker, at least you have an excuse for talking to your friends the way you do.
Talk to everybody this way.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
we
who
know.
the fuck I am.
We know. We know. No, okay.
Hey, look, I'll be the first to admit I've learned something. Go ahead, Bear. Sorry, Jacob. Sorry.
There we go. I'm just. It's something I'm passionate about. I mean,
But why?
I find it interesting
Why?
because I like American history.
Why?
Because
Why?
because I learned it when I was like in 5th grade and I took an interest in it. I think it's fun. It's something that
How does that pertain to Jake? How does that improve your life?
has improved my. It's an interest.
How does that interest improve your life? Everything I'm interested in improves my life. How does that improve your life? How do you use it every day?
How do I use it every day?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, just knowing stuff. I don't know. Like I just.
Somewhat myopic.
You don't know anything. You haven't said anything that I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. You don't talk about history when we talk.
Really?
So why don't you talk about American history? If
I
you're
disagree
so,
with
such
you
a-
on that.
Shut the fuck up, James.
No, I do.
How?
I do.
Okay.
I just did in this show, like all that stuff.
I feel like you discuss current events more than you discuss history.
Yes.
Unless you're talking about the Kennedys.
I disagree.
You've referenced the Kennedys a lot over the years.
Well, I mean, the fact that the assassination was bunk, yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
know
actually.
something about a bridge. Who
I'm gonna
cares where that
actually.
goes?
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Legitimately disagree with you.
That's
both
Ted
on this.
Kennedy.
Hamill actually has like this interesting wealth of knowledge about stuff that explains stuff, especially
Yeah.
when we talk about like the last 150 years. He actually does
Yeah.
know this shit, and he's corrected me on a ton of stuff. Gives context. He does know his shit. I'm gonna stand on him with this one. I am.
Yeah.
He knows his shit within the context of the Matrix. He doesn't know why that shit happened.
Can you give me one thing in life?
Say what?
Jesus Christ! Can you give me one?
I give
thing?
you what the fuck you deserve. Don't ask me for no more. How about that? Fuck you talk about? Can you give me? No, I can't give you shit you don't deserve. How about that?
I
That
don't
answer your
deserve
question?
in your eyes. I don't deserve to have a
You
fucking
get what you
interest.
deserve from me. You can
Yeah.
have an interest. I didn't take it from you. Do
No.
I have it now?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you for it. Since I can take it from you, I got that motherfucker. You can't never use it no more. It's not your interest anymore.
You knew about magnets and didn't tell us where to invest. You're no better.
I did.
You
I've
didn't
been.
get what company?
James, you
no,
don't
you just
listen to
said
me.
Invest in
What
magnets.
episode?
Cool.
What
I'll go to
episode?
Dick Blick. They make them, right?
What do I? Do you want me to hold your hand and feed you too, motherfucker? I ain't your mama. Goddamn, you need a big titty black woman, huh? You so used to that. That's what you used to. James, you know you got to invest in the magnets today, right, James? Come on down the stairs. You got your bow tie on, James? James!
Master James, your mama said to buy magnets, Master James.
Mr. James, don't you put that magnet in your booty hole. I know what you did last time with that magnet. It smelled like boo-boo. Mr. James.
Mr. James, did you take a shower? It's time to go buy magnets, Mr. James.
Motherfucker.
Wow, that's like the first time that's been brought back in
Say
50
here,
fucking
I have a
episodes.
legitimate question.
Yeah.
Say he told you 2 weeks ago to invest in magnets.
me
Would
a
you have
company.
invested in magnets?
Give me a company. Fuck yeah.
Well, you
I
got the
didn't
money
know
to
the company. I didn't go research it. I told Carrie, I said, you go find any company that's doing this and you let me know. But I didn't go. I just knew the technology. I don't know specific companies.
I still want to know why.
Why what?
What the usage is.
I'll tell
Like,
you-
my
I'll tell
first
you,
thought was the
free
fusion
energy.
thing. My first thought is the fusion thing, but could be battery technology. That's like hot right now. And if they made a break, I don't know. I just want to know what it is. I'm more curious about be like, how'd you find a new use for magnets that makes them fucking worth more than gold?
I'll put it to you like this: all energies come from the same substance. It just it has different capabilities and attributes.
I mean, you're not well.
It's
Electricity comes from.
It's all the same. James,
You think so?
James,
You think so?
James, trust. Look at my eyes. It's all the same shit. At its basic level, there's an etherical substance that all things is. It just vibrates at different levels, so it presents itself in different manners. That's all it is. Like if you could take electricity, if you take it and speed it up, like if you take it and you hit a human being with like lightning, lightning hits a human being if they're not grounded, it'll kill them. But if you take that same amount of electricity and you speed it up faster than that, it'll heal that human being because it has different properties at a different rate of speed, and it will present itself differently. Same thing with different lights and all that type of stuff with technologies. But like I say, it's all the same stuff, but it gives you different attributes and capabilities.
So you want to up the
Ex-
amperage?
Huh?
You want to up the amperage?
Well, it can't be current. It has to be. I mean,
It's vibratory.
There's
It's
different current. Like there's different fucking polarities you can fuck with. I mean, I know that from welding. Like welding aluminum is nothing like welding steel.
Everything is a polarity.
Yeah.
And everything is the same. It's just
Yeah.
on the scale.
Just
Just
wh-
one
wh-
thing is this and one thing is that.
Because on aluminum you have to switch to polarities.
Yeah.
It's a weird. Yeah, it's hard to do.
Cold and hot is the same thing. It's just that it's on a polarity. It's a polarity of the same thing.
interesting observation.
Oh, you never-
can't argue that.
Oh,
That's-
James, we'll have to talk one day. I'll tell you all about the secrets of the universe, man. Tell you how to wield them. Like a god.
I can't wait until you finally start accepting like Asian philosophies because I don't think you've gotten there yet.
I'm
because
past Asian
You
philosophy.
hate the Asians.
No, I don't hate the Asians.
Just
I
the
like fucking with
Chinese.
the Asians.
Just the Chinese.
I like fucking with the Asians.
Best Asian.
Huh?
Best Asian.
Best Asian?
Yeah.
I don't learn Asians. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, like-
I don't know. The ones with the eyes.
What's with the eyes?
Those.
Yeah. All right. I was like, what? Nat?
I would say Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee.
I mean, like a part. Like what country's the best Asian? Like.
Oh,
What
what's
ki-
the ones? Mongolian? No,
North of China is Mongolia.
I think it's
There's a
Mongolian.
big wall.
I think it's
They built a
the women, Mongolian women. They're
For real?
yeah. I think it's Mongolian.
Google it, James.
I think
I want to
I-
go with Filipino or
Nah.
Vietnamese.
it's another one. Who
You can
is
get
it?
some thick ass Vietnamese girl, son.
Cambodians, man. The Cambodian chicks are awesome.
Yeah, Cambodians are. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up around them. They're really cool.
What's that?
Mongolian women.
All right.
Yeah, but if you put in car, it's going to show you a Honda Civic, man. Put in hot Mongolian chick.
Here's the thing: Mongolian women look like they're very sturdy. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Not like in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like
I wouldn't think any Asian woman. I think Hungarian and like Eastern European are sturdy women. Like that's sturdy to me.
Right.
Like that big just
Eastern Bloc.
Oh yeah.
Ukrainian women.
yeah, like Ukrainian. Those yeah.
Hungarian's a good call.
Yeah.
Even like Eastern fucking Austria.
Dude,
Yeah, Austria.
Bosnian women have.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
women that have seen war.
Yeah, they will beat your ass.
But they be beautiful. They
Oh,
they
yeah.
just be fucking
Pull up
brick
Filipino
houses.
women.
Hot or just Filipino?
Yes, hot. Why would you? We just discussed this, James.
It's not Mongolian. What is I'm thinking? It's they're nothing but Asian black women. They
Oh,
got
is
big
it-
lips and big butts.
Indonesian,
It's the Indonesian.
Cambodian, Thai.
It may be Cambodian. I dated.
Dude, let's go to Cambodian because Cambodian chicks are fly.
Cambodian.
Yeah,
It may be Cambodian.
Cambodia's the
I
shit.
feel like Cambodian women always have really strong chins.
Yeah, I like that. Like a motherfucker with a strong ass face. I want
lot
a man with a slow hand.
A lot of them moved over to the town I was living in Maine, so I went to school with a bunch of them, and they're fucking cool, man.
They are.
Pull
love
up
'em.
thick Cambodian chick.
I like her. She
THICC.
There was this girl I went to school with named Joy, and her sister was like 17.
However you feel
I was-
appropriate.
and I was like, I don't know, like 10. Her sister was so fucking hot. It was retardedly hot. Like,
Dude, all white women are thick
damn.
now. Yeah.
yeah, Cambodian. Yeah, I've always had
Thought
it.
I was fucking around, son.
And it's not like some normal white guy reason why I like Cambodian girls. It's because it's like I grew up around them, so it's like they're like in my memory box.
They're like the black chicks of Asia, dude.
yeah.
God, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's an ass for the fucking record books.
Yeah.
Keep scrolling, man.
God
There's some
damn.
dope shit.
Is there an ass that's too big?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Once you run out of dick, the ass too big.
Yeah. There. Yeah.
Yeah. Some
If
of
I,
them
get-
asses.
if I
man.
can't get it all
Yeah.
the way to the hole.
Yeah, some of them asses you gotta have at least 3-4 inches of dick just to get to the hole. For real, it's just 3-4 ass of cheek, 3-4 motherfucking inches of cheek. Get through. I don't even like ass. Like that used to be my repertoire right there when I was younger. Just stupid jungle ghetto booty. Like I was just all my. Then I just like this is silly. This is silly. And then I got to like the little tone runner booties. Yeah, this is my repertoire.
Runner and dancer.
Yeah.
It was like I was like 19 years old. First year in college, my RA, Asian girl, but she was a dancer. And she and I hooked up, and I remember grabbing that ass and be like, oh, what's this then? Like firm and full. And you're like, huh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's neat. I was all about that.
Asian women walk like they got helium in their pussy. Bingo. Next time you see, they gotta be from the country, not from here.
That's so fucking funny. They walk
Yeah.
in 4-inch stilettos, but they're just like deep, deep, deep,
They
deep.
walk like they got helium in their pussy.
That is oddly the funniest observation. You watch old Bond movies when he's in China. Yeah. And it's like, oh, he's in Hong Kong, and there's these women. You're right.
they
They're
walk
just
like-
like,
they
doop,
walk-
doop, 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 doop.
They walk like their feet barely touch the ground.
Chaos.
Sorry, that one killed me.
If people don't realize that, but they're gonna see it now. But they gotta be from their country. They can't be from here. From their country, I promise you, they're gonna walk like Flying Dragon, Hidden Tiger, or whatever the fuck that movie was.
I remember that movie.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, Flying, Crouching Tiger Dragon.
I like
Crouching
her.
Tiger Dragon's my favorite sex move. It's when you're fucking her from behind and you fold her legs up like you're gonna human suplex her, and then you start tickling her ribs because she can't do anything about it, and her vibration from the laughing on your dick, it feels amazing.
I'll have to give that a shot.
I recommend it.
That's like a musical instrument.
Yeah.
The xylophone of sex.
You ever made a girl laugh when you were fucking her?
Well, I mean, it's because
It's
I was
like
fucking her. Yeah.
It's like experiencing Kegels.
Yeah. They just clench all up, man.
Yeah.
And that's when you pink sock.
Oh, fucking why? Why? I mean, no.
Because
Jesus.
James is a disturbed human.
Oh man.
James, when are you going to admit that you lost your virginity to a Boy Scout leader?
No, it wasn't a Boy Scout. Not that I remember anyway.
See how all that therapy turns out, huh?
Dude,
No, I don't need that like regressive therapy. What happened when I was a kid?
do you listen to your comedy?
Sometimes. Like
How
if
do you
I-
like it?
it's-
That's not a real question,
Jesus,
but
God
no,
damn.
not like that. But how do you like it? Like, how do you sound to you?
It's taken me a while to kind of get over it, like because like when you first start doing it, it's like,
Yes.
But then like you start hearing it, and then what's funny is like when you're in the moment, it feels like you're killing, like completely killing. And you look back and you're like, okay, that laugh that I thought I got really big was not really as big as I thought, and yada yada yada. And then also you'll catch shit like that you may have said off the cuff that you forgot, and you can help you write better, and it also makes you like if it's a bad one too, it allows you to know where you fucked up. You know what I mean? But I haven't done it in a while.
How
I
many
should,
of
though.
you
I'll-
listen back to this show?
I do.
Yeah, I'll go through it sometimes. Like, I actually want to go through all of them because I know like we came up with some funny ass bits, and I know I brought up some premises that I want to expand upon. But
Wait, so I listen to these shows pretty regularly. It helps me identify my crutches, the things that I do constantly. That, like, when I listen to myself, like I can be fine, but I hear, oh fuck, I did that again. I work it out. Like, I'm critical of myself. I don't need to. Oh, I say a lot. You know.
yeah, I noticed I do that too. I say I forgot what I say a lot, but I say something
Here's
a
the
lot.
thing.
Well, I know I
Let
say
me tell
that
you
a lot.
about a thing.
I purposely say that, but it's some things I say unconsciously. Then I'm like, I got to stop saying it. That I say on purpose.
It's intriguing to. It's like struggling to hear yourself,
It
but
is.
it's very good.
But what I was talking to him was like, I've been listening to my shit because it is brutal to listen to yourself at first. But it's like, I knew we did the when you did your joke this weekend, and I'm like, you did this joke for a reason. When I used to listen to my comedy, I'm like, I'm funny. But then I started listening to it recently. I'm like, oh, I know why I did that joke now. Like, I wrote the joke, I knew it was funny. I had a concept of the joke when I wrote it, but I didn't know in the grand scheme of things what I was trying to express with that joke. But now that I go back over it, I'm like, oh, I get what I was trying to say with that joke. I didn't even know what I was trying to say at the moment with that joke, but I knew I was trying to express something. So that's why when you did that joke, and I'm like, yeah, the joke fell flat because you don't know why you're telling that joke.
Yeah.
So that's why I was trying to get you to the bottom. You're telling the joke for a reason. You just haven't investigated why.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought it there.
And you see, once we uncovered why, now it's a whole bit now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It breaks the joke open.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I thought that was interesting just for me to go back and be like, oh, I know why I did this joke. This shit is funny as fuck. It makes it funnier now that you know why it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, because I can listen to people laugh, and it's like, I know why they think it's funny, but now I know why I thought it was funny. And what
in that moment, like,
in
this
that-
is why I brought it up.
Yeah, and what it represents to me. Like, it represents something you on a deeper level. And it's like we found out. It's like you kind of want to be this guy. You kind of envy this guy because he can do this and not give a fuck. And you're doing what you're supposed to do in that moment. And he's doing what the fuck he wants to do in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. But that's what you learned. I'm like, you have to keep examining yourself. Like, even me, I go back and I have to examine myself because, like, it's all you just learning. You never get to that point to where you're done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do it also to see if I can cut fat off of jokes. When I have too much shit on it that I can just cut off that's dead weight. Because you don't want too much. It's Jeff Foxworthy who said this, but I kind of hold it dear to my heart. When you're telling a joke, it should be like diddly boom. And then when you're telling a longer joke, it should be diddly boom, diddly boom, diddly boom, diddly boom. Like you don't want too much diddly before the boom. Like you don't want just like
Yeah, you don't want to tell
Yeah.
your jokes like you tell stories.
yeah, exactly. See, and
Jesus.
my jokes are they're kind of like stories, but that's how I build them though. I build them as like one joke, then like I kind of train car them to make a chunk.
I like to do the opposite. I like to just tell a long ass dry story, and then amp it up as I go along. And it may take 4 or 5 minutes. Like I don't give a fuck.
But that's
But the payoff, if the payoff is great, then
yeah,
yeah,
because I know the payoff is there. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know my jokes well enough. I know people well enough. I know crowds well enough. I know how to create emotion in the crowd well enough to sit there and bomb for 5, 7, 10 minutes, knowing that if I got 15 minutes, I can get them on the back end, and they'll just forget the whole first part because they'll think the beginning part is the build up to the second part. Because I can know how to, like, you got to know how to do shit on the fly. But like, people don't realize the artistry of being a comedian and making motherfuckers consistently laugh against their will. Like, it's an art to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're doing. You're making, especially me, because I have an antagonistic point of view and comedy. I'm coming out there to make you feel terrible just so I can turn that energy around and make you laugh about it later. So I'm going to come out there and say something that you probably ain't going to agree with right off the bat, just because I know you're not going to agree with it. But I know I can flip it on his head because I know you don't know what the fuck. I know why you don't know why you disagree with this. So I'm going to use that to flip it on his head, and that's going to be the joke.
Yeah. You know all of the pro, but none of the con, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's like, I mean, everybody. The beauty of comedy is much like composers. Like, everybody's got their own style. There's some people that can tell long stories. You pepper in a little punch here and there, but it's about the end payoff. And then you have comics that it's just like, I can tell that same story, but it's, da 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 punch, punch, and that's fine. All those can exist. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just don't like when people like, oh, this is the way you do it. Like, no, you just do it however you feel like you do it. You can make anything work. That's why I allow people to get up there, do what you're going to do. Try to make that motherfucker work. If that's what you feel like works, then try to make it work.
I would say that the hardest I've laughed, that I can remember laughing at what was fundamentally an open mic, was Stephen AJ coming up and doing his, like, I'm an African refugee bit. Like, he did the first, 7 minutes, and everybody in that room was uncomfortable laughing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm just fucking with y'all. And I was just like, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
God damn it. That was fucking
You
great.
take that anxiety, you break it. And it's a good break. You get all the energy of the anxiety.
It was just one of those, like, wow, you went into it. Like, this was a dead room. Like, it was uncomfortable laughs. It was mostly, like, pity laughs.
Oh, man.
Until you were just like, yeah, fuck y'all. And you're just like, oh, fuck. I
And
can laugh at you now.
Is it in Denver?
Yeah.
So it's probably like a woke crowd kind of. So
for
they're
sure.
like,
It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever experienced, because I was like D. Kelly invited me down. He was on it, but fucking, I would remember being like, this is weird.
yeah.
Like, this room is, and then, oh man, just that reveal. But to be that committed, fuck, amazing. How do you have that?
Just happen.
Just sit
Yeah.
there. Sit there in the stew of fucking bomb.
You want to know how to get that? Take a cold shower and just sit there and don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
That's it. Just cold as your shower can get, just let it hit your skin, top of your head, let it run over your body, and don't fucking move.
I mean, just take your medicine.
It's the same thing when you're on stage. Yeah.
That's what I do. I just take the medicine. Like, I mean, I'll be like, "Eesh," like when I get off stage, but you just but you got to be able to learn from the bomb too.
Of course.
Like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Like, how did this not come out? How did this? So that's kind of motivates me too to kind of do better, because it's like, okay, I clearly fucked up back there. Like, I should do better. And like, what the
I
fuck
feel like what he's describing is different, though. Like,
Okay.
the joke was where he was bombing on purpose.
Right,
God.
which is super
Yeah.
weird, but I'm with
Yeah.
you, and it's like we've talked about this off of mic even earlier tonight, where it's just like I feel like people are afraid of bombing.
or when they do, they're fucking delusional about it. Like, they're like, those fucking crowd sucked. And it's like, no, dude, you just had a bad night.
People don't even want to have a bad set at an open mic, and I'm like, it's an open mic.
Yeah, yeah.
I did computer programming. Having a compile error is fun. I need to go find out why.
Yeah.
I need to go through all of everything I've just produced to find where the mistake is. There's some gorgeous nature to that.
Yeah.
Like,
Some
I don't
people- some
understand why
don't want
people
that
are
shit.
so afraid to fucking get kicked in the dick.
Because everybody's afraid of being ousted about their mistakes, so everybody like takes everybody else's mistakes and put them over the top. So everybody's immortalized by their mistakes now. You got YouTube, you got all these things. Motherfucker catch you slipping, falling. Any mistake is like, oh, look at this motherfucker. Because it's all about people being insecure, people pointing out other people to take the heat off of them. Oh, look what they did. They made a mistake. But that
That's a
same
good-
person, you catch them, they cry out, oh, what are you doing? It's just like, motherfucker, like, it's funny how everybody's okay with, like, the paparazzi going behind these celebrities, getting all these pictures and shit you love. But imagine if the paparazzi followed the regular person around every day. People don't realize what the paparazzi is. Them motherfuckers are always there. Always. I mean, these motherfuckers can't go on vacation. They can't move without a group of motherfuckers with cameras.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how annoying the average person can handle one question from a person they don't know? Imagine a group of motherfuckers with cameras taking pictures of you all the time. But you're perfectly okay, so you can get your celebrity news with these motherfuckers doing that shit.
Yeah, it's wild. We work with a guy who used to be like a radio tour manager or some sort of. He worked on tour with Radiohead, and they were backstage one time. I think somewhere in like Austria or something like that. And Tom York, the lead singer, like his best friend's wife just left him, and so he's distraught. Sees his best friend, who happens to be Tom York, the lead singer of fucking Radiohead, and Tom's trying to be a good friend. And these two chicks like, "Can we get a picture?" And he's like, "Not right now. I'm sorry, I can't." They're like, "Oh, you're a fucking dick." And it's like, you don't know what the fuck's going on, man. And now this guy's gonna have a tarnished reputation because you wanted the photo because he's trying to help his friend. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part about fame that's just gross. How just people,
Kevin Hart did a special, and he said he like celebrities are the weirdos now. He's like everybody. He like celebrities made everybody else feel weird at one point. He's like now people make celebrities feel weird. He's like it's weird being a celebrity now. He's like you can't. He's like once upon a time you're a celebrity, you can do what the fuck you want to do. He's like you can't do what you want to do. He's like you got all the money in the world to do what you want to do. You got all the access, but you can't do what you want to do because as soon as you step out your house, you got this crowd of people, this, that, and the other. So there's no more of I do what the fuck I want to do anymore. Now it's like the people can what?
I believe that is a product of their own doing.
Oh, yeah, most
they
definitely.
hire
Yeah.
a publicist that puts them out there. You don't see pictures of Leo DiCaprio. You know why? Or Tom Hanks. It's what he wants you to see.
Or
They're
Tom- yeah.
old school.
But
Nope.
but those people
You
are
leave me
still
the
there.
fuck alone.
They have their ways of controlling it just because they're bigger people in the industry. But those people are still there for them too.
But everybody, you need to have that visibility to continue to get jobs. And that's like an unfortunate byproduct because like you should just be like entitled to your private life, and a bunch of them do that. A lot of them fail because they're not accessible. So you're right. You have to be at the Leo and Tom Hanks level before Tom Cruise, where it's just like
But even
I
they
will
aren't
let you
even
see what I'll let you see.
they aren't really protected either because I mean it just depends on what they do. You may not be having them get pictures of them on vacation, shit like that. But like I say, you had the shit with Tom Hanks to where they what was the little thing with Tom Hanks and his wife just a little minute ago when he was in the news? What was something with COVID?
He was one of the first celebrities to test positive for COVID, and he was in another country.
Yeah, it's in New Zealand or
And the
Australia.
conspiracy theorists thought it was because he was going to get Epsteined.
Oh, okay, yeah, because
Epsteined.
that all went away.
So even he isn't even immune. It just
Meanwhile,
depends
are
on
you
what he's
aware
doing.
of Chet Hanks?
Oh God.
Nah, who's
Oh
just
man.
tell me what's happening.
Nope.
Oh my God, why can't
Dude, this guy is fucking something else, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
Let me.
He is a rapper, right? Is he a rapper or is he? I heard that he went like Rastafarian.
Yes, he
Okay.
speaks patois,
God
and
bless.
this is Tom Hanks' son. Hopefully, this
Colin's
comes through.
brother, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I want to find. This is gonna be just a bitch.
I know that's why I just said.
Yeah,
Just-
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over, man. We've lost interest. It's
Tell me.
another. I remember this guy. His name was Snow in the 90s.
like a legit.
Informous. A licky boom boom down.
That guy's still talking about Canada like he's Eminem. It's fucking great. I used to have Much Music, which is like their MTV.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw him.
Oh.
Or Eminem was on Much Music.
Yeah. Those like, man, I miss the old timey music TV days. Now it's just shows and shit.
I don't even have like TV channels anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. But I mean,
I have like three streaming services, and then if I can't find it, it's not that important.
What 3 streaming services?
I have HBO Max. I have Disney Plus. I have Netflix.
That's
My
about all you
roommate-
need.
My roommate has Hulu, and my other roommate has Amazon Prime. I
Oh.
also have the Motor Trend TV app,
Oh yeah.
but that was just like you pay it like once a year, like $24, and it's just good to rock and roll till next year.
you think that's how we're gonna go now? Instead of people having cable,
Yeah.
you're just gonna buy a channel like thing.
I'm
It's
at
been-
my limit.
It's gonna go back to cable, or it's gonna be this. You're gonna be paying the same amount because now what they've done is they've divvied all your favorite shows up amongst all these apps. So you're gonna have to buy all these apps if you want to watch all your favorite shows, and by the time you're done, you'll be
It's
back
true.
at $100
Like
some dollars.
the homegirls got I didn't even know the Peacock app
Oh yeah.
Yep.
because that's now where Parks and Rec and all that shit is going.
Yeah, it's all the NBC properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what I tell people. Like the companies have made they work with each other now to get our money. So they'll be like, okay, you take this, you take this. We know these are the popular shows. They'll divvy them up between the apps, so each app can have one show that's most people are going to watch. So you're going to get most of the apps. So you'll bundle it all. Like I say, at the end, you'll have the same bill you had when you had cable. And this is what we always do. We break shit apart, and then we slowly build it back up to the same thing. Break it apart, slowly build up to the same fucking thing. Silly.
I do remember when they broke up all the telephone companies, and now it's either Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint,
No,
AT&T.
Sprint's
No.
T-Mobile now.
Yeah, Sprint,
So
T-Mobile.
now it's just Verizon and T-Mobile now duking it out to the end.
Pretty much.
And AT&T.
And AT&T, which they'll never take They'll never let
Verizon
AT&T.
for life.
Yeah, but this because AT&T is a founding member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's Ma Bell.
I got
There,
the Ill
there are
communication.
people. There are people alive today that remember when AT&T or Bell Labs was the thing. We gotta get 25 years before AT&T goes away because it's so much nostalgia.
We're finna got a new the thing here coming soon. We always got the thing that we invest in. Let me say this before we go though. You guys are seeing the appearance of UFOs around the world, and I came across a story that was very interesting. That these are all newspaper reports about like before the Wright brothers came out with the airplane or whatever. There was reports of people that had flying ships long before that. Like they would just be flying around in them, dropping down, interacting, this, that, and the other. So people had flying technology long before the Wright brothers. You got to be looking at the places I'm looking at. And so that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing UFOs just around. You're getting reports. They're letting you know it's coming. They're always going to introduce things to you slowly. And they'll be just a full-flown thing in the next 10, 15 years.
The large part of those was dirigibles because they hadn't gotten the wing nor the helicopter, but they had dirigibles. So
What was the dirigible?
a Zeppelin.
Mm?
And they had tons of different variations of those, which is where a lot of those UFO things came from, which was just like, we found a different way to fill a balloon. And this is more appropriate. This works better. This flies better. But they didn't share any of those secrets because a lot of those was German.
Yeah. Yes.
And so they were trying to keep their shit on wraps because they were trying to take over the world like 10 years later.
Yeah, but they were well known. Like these, it wasn't a secret or nothing like that. Like they were literally flying around these things, drop it down, interacting with people, getting the fuck back in, and like it was. I mean, it's the hundreds of just newspaper articles showing this way before the Wright brothers ever came out. But it's like I say, there's the technology. What we know on a basic level is always shit, 50, 60, 100 years behind what they have and the capabilities they have. I mean,
I think it used to be. We're about like at like a 15 to 20 year now.
ahead.
No, like that we don't find out about it until 15 to
Oh.
20. Used to be 50.
Yeah.
I think we're at like
No.
15 to 20
Dude,
now.
let me Let me tell you something.
Too many goddamn cameras in the world.
Let me tell you something, James. They so far ahead. We're children. They're feeding it to us. Here, there you go, a little spoonful. Oh, because this you gotta understand, and this is about anything you ever like. Think of like the theory of relativity.
Special or
It just the basic, just the idea of it. The average human being can't consume that. They can't understand it on a basic level. So what you have is that you has to be broken down and disseminated in little pieces that people can understand. You'll never understand the full concept that all these other concepts come from. So it has to be broken down in small pieces. And what happens is you lose a lot of what it's supposed to be when you break it down so people can understand that. You have that with concepts. You have that all sorts of things because a lot of people just don't have the minds to discern things to the level they need to discern it to. So they're giving it until they're led along. It's like little kids until they come into their own mind and they can make their own decisions. But till then, they're fed stuff, which is the mass majority.